With me now is the Media Relations Officer for Saugeen Shore's Police Service, Sergeant Andy Evans. How are you doing, Andy?
Good, Don. How are you?
Excellent. Tell us how policing has changed now that COVID-19 is in the region.
Well, policing at its core is the same. We're still responding to calls for service for thefts, impaired, assaults, domestics, you name it. It still happens. Human nature doesn't stop because of pandemic. Human nature doesn't stop because of geographical boundaries. But the way we are delivering the service is a little bit different. So when we go to a call, people are going to see us dressed wearing the N95 masks, possibly goggles, and we're wearing our nitrile gloves. And we'll be trying to maintain that social distance, but we don't always have that option to maintain a social distance. When you arrest somebody, you have to get very intimate and close to them, and so we don't have that option all the time. If I can throw back to when I first was a police officer, my first full year in policing was with the Toronto Police Service in North York, and that was during the SARS epidemic. And literally where I worked in Toronto was ground zero. North York General Hospital was the hot zone. And so this isn't uncharted territory for me personally. I've been through it, but to compare the two for SARS and COVID-19, the scale in which this is rolled out is unprecedented, and the two aren't comparable. And on the other end of it, when SARS was when that was resolved, there was a big party, a big SARS stock, they called it, at Downsview Park, where 500,000 people got together. Now, looking at today's situation, that would be counterintuitive, and I don't think we'll see that sort of release once we relax our controls.
Did you have special training on how to police during COVID?
No, there's no. I wouldn't say it's special training. It's information's power, and on how to keep that distance with people. There's certain things that have changed. As a small town police service, we pride ourselves in being able to attend every call that we're called to investigate. Now we're looking at different options now as far as, can we resolve this over the telephone? Does it require a police officer to attend a house? So we're trying to mitigate those contacts with the public. Certainly, a lot of those contacts can't be mitigated if there's a safety issue or there's an arrest to be made. But there are certain changes.
Have you found a reduction in crime since COVID-19, since everybody seems to be in their houses?
No, I haven't looked at the stats, but I could say that the interactional type crimes where people might come into some sort of friction with each other, like at a bar or where they're consuming substances. But as I said earlier, human nature doesn't recognize that this is a pandemic. So, we're still going to see those normal calls for thefts and drugs and things that have persisted since time immemorial.
Would there be a reduction in accidents or collisions, to say? I'm just guessing that there's less people on the road at this time.
Yeah, there probably has been. As I said, I haven't pulled the statistics yet, but just anecdotally, just looking at, because I'm a shift supervisor, so I clear the collision reports that come through. There haven't been as many.
What would you say, are people cooperating with not gathering in groups?
Well, what I can say about Saugeen Shores is, and many communities in Ontario are no different, that the people that live here are fantastic, and we have seen a pretty strong buy-in across the board as far as the social distancing, adhering to the provincial directive, and so for us that makes our job a lot easier. Now, if that comes to the time where we do get a call where we have to investigate people possibly violating the social distancing or the use of the amenities within Saugeen Shores, we have attended. Not all of them have been validated, but with the ones that we have to educate and redirect, the people are understanding, and have experienced very little pushback.
Now, you have been given power, though, to hand out tickets, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, but you haven't had to as of yet.
No, there hasn't been any tickets issued yet. Certainly, there's been some warnings, but that's part of the educate and redirect. Now, if people ignore those warnings, then our hand might be forced to lay that charge. But so far, we haven't had to. And as I said, in Saugeen Shores, the buy-in's been very strong.
Is there anything that we can do as the public to make your job maybe safer, easier, better?
Um, well, you're already doing it. The public's already doing it. As I said, the buy-in's very strong. Um, Respect those social distances. Be aware of the provincial directive. Be aware of what's open and what you can do. As far as the green spaces, the amenities, what's in use, what can't be used, and it's been so well publicized that that people should know this, and the information is readily available. Most municipal websites, if not all of them, will have that information that is specific to their municipality. The provincial government is a great resource for essential and non-essential businesses, and their spaces, their open spaces. So the information's there. Information's power. So what I can just suggest to people is arm themselves with the good information, and conduct themselves accordingly.
Thank you so much for chatting and taking time out of your day to chat with us and to help inform us on what's going on.
No problem, Don.